Welcome to Coding Atlas. In this video, we'll be dealing with responsive navigation bar. Navigation bar is an important part of a website. Most users access a website through their mobile device. So therefore, it is very important that your website, including the navigation bar, is always responsive because most of your users will always be accessing the website through their mobile devices. Without wasting more time, let's get to it. We have our project folder here, and inside the folder we have this image that we'll be using for our background. Okay, so the next thing we do is we create an index.html, which is going to be the landing page. All right, so the first thing we do is we have our HTML layout, and then we are going to give the title a responsive navigation bar. We need to link a CSS file which we've not created, so we call it style.css. All right, we can as well create it now. Style.css. Inside the body we have a nav element with a class of navbar. Inside of the navbar we have a container, a div with a class of container, and inside of the container we have a logo. We are going to call this Coding Atlas. That will be our logo, and after we can as well comment it. Let's call this logo. And after the logo we have our nav links. Navbar links. So the navbar links is going to be on another list with class of nav links, and we also give it ID of nav links. That's what we use in our JavaScript to select the nav links for mobile devices. So if we save that, we can start this with live server, so we'll see what we are working on. Okay, so we have our logo here. Let me zoom in so you can see it properly. All right, we have the logo. We have a list item with link inside of it, so it's a dummy link. We have 4 links, so let's copy that, and then inside of this we're going to have home. The next one is going to be services. The next one is going to be about, and then the next link is going to be contact. All right, so we have our nav links. After the nav links, we are going to have our menu, the hamburger. So we can say hamburger icon for mobile view. All right, so that is going to be a button. We give it class of menu toggle. We also give it an ID of menu toggle, so that we use that ID to select the button in JavaScript. All right, so we are going to use the HTML entity code of bar, and that is ampersand and 9776. Yes, so we have the HTML element of our navigation bar now, so we can go to styling. We'll go to style.css. The first thing we do, as we shine in CSS, is to reset the default styles. So we'll say margin 0, padding, and then box sizing to be other box. Save that. So after that, we are going to have body. We're going to give the body font family of Segway UI, Segway. All right, and then we give it a minimum height of 100 view height, so that the body will fill up the whole screen. We have 100 view height. Save that, and then we give it a background image of URL, and we have PG photo. Okay, if we save that, and then we say background position, center, background size, it's going to be cover. All right, so we have that, and then after the body, then we start styling our navigation bar. we have navbar. If you could remember, we give the navbar a class of, give the nav a class of navbar. Okay, so we're going to start styling the navbar now. Give it a background color of white, padding 0, padding 0.625 rem top bottom and 1 rem left and right. We have a position of relative, height of 3.5 rem, so that we'll be able to give the nav links a height of 100 view height minus 3.5 rem. We'll get there very soon. Alright, and we'll say align content. It's going to center, okay, and then box shadow. Give the navbar a box shadow so that it's going to have a little depth. We have 0, 4 pixel, 6 pixel, and then the color is going to be RGBA 000, that's color black with opacity of 0.1. So we have our navbar now, right? And after the navbar, we are going to have container, which is the div that is containing the content of the navbar. So we have container. Okay, side of the container, we're going to have a max width of 1280 pixel. So the max width is used so that the content of the navbar will not fly out in case of extremely large screens. Okay, the container is going to make the content of the navbar to be in the center of the screen for extra large screens. Then we have margin of 0 top bottom, then auto left and right. That is going to centralize the container in the center. For screen sizes that is over 1280 pixels, we can see that in action. If I increase the size of my browser, you can see this is the function of the container, so that it keeps the content of the navbar in the center in case of extremely large screens. Right. Now we can go back to a normal zoom level. Give it a display of flex. Justify content is going to be space between, so that the logo and the nav links and the menu button are going to be spaced apart. And then align items is going to be center. Right, we save that. So we have them now spaced apart. Now let's tie our logo. We give the logo a color of ash 333, that is a shade of gray. Font size 1.5 rem. Font weight bold. User select of none, so that the user will not be able to select our logo. Right. Now after the logo, then we have the nav links. Give it position of absolute. That's for mobile devices. Position absolute. We are using mobile first design principle. So we are styling our nav links first from mobile and then go upward towards large screens. Also give it background of white, background color of white. Top 100%, left 0, width 100 view width, height. So this is where we use the value that we gave the container the other time, the navbar. If you could remember, the navbar we gave it a height of 3.5 rem. Now we need this nav links code to have a height that is the same as the height of the screen minus the navbar. So the nav links is going to start from the end of the navbar and then it fills the whole height of the screen. So we are going to use the calc function, then we are going to say 100 view height minus 3.5 rem. That's going to make it to fill the whole screen starting from the end of the navbar. Okay, so after the height, give it a padding, 1 rem, top, bottom, 0, left and right. So we say list style, none. Then we make it a flex container, display of flex. Flex direction is going to be column from small screens. Then we give it a box shadow, 0, 6 pixel, 6 pixel. Then we have color black with opacity of 0.3, 0, 0, 0, 0.3. So by default, I'm going to translate the nav links by minus 100% so that by default it will not be displayed. Okay, so whenever the user clicks on the menu button, then the nav links will then be displayed. So by default, we are going to have translate x of negative 100%. All right, and then we give it transition so that the nav links is translated over a period of 0.3 seconds. We have transform as our transition property, 0.3 seconds as the duration. Then we say is. Okay, so we see that, but for now we are still going to comment this out. So by the time we are done with the JavaScript, then we put this in so that the nav links will not be displayed by default on mobile screens. Now we want to style the links inside of the nav links container. So we have links, give the links display of block so that they will fill up the whole width of the nav container, of the nav links container. And then we give them a padding, 1 rem, text decoration, none, so that the underline will be removed. So we give them a color of hash 555, which is also a shade of gray. Font weight of 700, or you can say bold, same as 700. Then we give it font size of 1.125 rem. That's the same as 18 pixel. We give it transition, background color 0.3 second. And then we have ease. Okay, so that on hover we're going to give the nav links a background color, another shade of gray, so that whenever you now hover it, it's going to transition from background of white to that background color with a duration of 0.3 seconds. And so we say nav links hover, right on hover, give it a background color of E5E 7EB. Right, when you hover it, it's going to have that background color, and then it's going to transition from white to that color in 0.3 seconds. Now, by default, the nav links will be hidden by default. So we're going to control this with JavaScript. Nav links.open. We're going to add the class of open with JavaScript so that whenever a class of open is added to nav links, then it's going to translate from minus 100% to 0. Okay, so we are going to return it back to its normal position. Copy that and paste, and then I'm going to say 0. All right, so we are going to control that with our button. We'll get there after CSS. We go to JavaScript. So let's comment this out so that we see what we are working on for now. As from 480 pixel, media, screen, and mean width 480 pixel. So as from 480 pixel, we want the nav links to have a width of 300 pixels so that on mobile devices, the nav links will take the full width of the screen, but from 180 pixel, let's say from tablets, then it's going to have a width of 300 pixel. So we say nav links width is going to be 300 pixel, which is same as 80.75 rem. So that's from 480 pixel, as it's going to have a width of, see. So on mobile devices, the nav links is going to fill the whole width, but from tablet, it's going to have a width of 300 pixel. Now from large screens, media screen, media query, and we have main width of 780 pixel, 768, 768 pixel. So from large screens like your PC, your monitor, big screens, I'm going to have nav links. Then we give it a position of static. So we are changing it from position absolute to position static. And let's go to large screens. Okay, let's inspect, go to dev tools. This will be at the base. Okay, so we have as from 768 pixels. Okay, so we are good with this. We'll return it back to static. Then transform, we put it back to the normal position, translate text. Then by default on mobile screen, it is translated 100% to the left. So we are returning it back to its normal position. Alright, flex direction, we are going to change it from column to row. And then we give it a gap of 1.25 rem. Width is going to be auto from 100 view width or 300 pixels. So the width is going to be auto because we are changing the direction to row. Alright, and then the height is going to be auto. Background is going to be transparent from white. Background color transparent. The nav bar is already white, so we change the background of the nav links to transparent. Okay, and then we are going to remove the box shadow. So padding is 0. We remove the padding that we gave it on the mobile devices. Now let's remove the padding and the background for our nav links. So here we say nav links. Alright, we remove the padding, and then the background color, we also remove it. So font weight 600. Okay, so we have this. We will still style this. Nav button is supposed to be displayed only on mobile devices, so we style it after styling our nav links. Alright, on hover, nav links, hover, we'll remove, because if you hover this, you see that it has a background color. We don't need this behavior in large screens. So we say background transparent, and then text decoration, we're going to give it underline. So if you hover this now, you see the background color is gone, and then we have underline. Alright, now let's deal with our navigation button. So you can come, it comes before, okay, it comes after the nav links. This is for nav links. Okay, we can as well write it at the base here, or so that we use the same media query. Let's come here, and then we say menu toggle as the class we give it. We give it font weight of bold as 700. Then color is a shade of gray as 333. Font size of 1.5 rem as 20 pixel, 24 pixel I mean. Background of transparent is going to remove the default background. We save that. Okay, now we need to remove the border. under none. Alright, so we have our nav button, our menu toggle. Okay, we need to give it a cursor of pointer so that whenever the user is hovering over it, it gives the user a cursor of pointer. Okay, so we say cursor pointer. Alright, so we need to add the JavaScript functionality to be displaying our nav menu on mobile devices. Right, it's supposed to be hidden by default. So we put this in to be hidden by default. So whenever the user click on this, it's going to bring that out. Okay, so we can, rather than creating another JavaScript file, we need just a simple JavaScript code there. So we can say script. So we say const menu button. We can say menu toggle or menu button. Let's call it menu toggle to be consistent with the name. So we say documents get element by ID, and then the ID we gave the button is menu toggle. So you can as well copy it and then you can type it, whatever your preference is. Then we also need to get the nav links. We have documents get element by ID. We gave the nav links ID of nav links. You can still remember. So you see this is the ID here. So we selected the button and then the nav links. Alright, so whenever the button is clicked, it's going to add the class of open. If you could remember, so whenever a class of open is present on the nav links, then it's going to return the nav links back to its normal position. You can use this and then you can as well use JavaScript to return the transform to 0. So I will say menu toggle, now add event list now. I'm going to add a click event. We have a comeback function. We have nav links dot class list dot toggle. I'm going to be toggling the class of open. Right. So if we click this, it's going to give it class of open, and then if you click this, it's going to remove that class. If you go to your DevTools and inspect, let's bring this up. And we have the nav links. It's going to be inside of here. This is the nav links, and then this is the class. Whenever you click on this, it's going to add the class of open. And then when you click on this, it's going to remove the class. So it is toggling that open class. And when the open class is on the element, it's going to translate it back to 0. Right? So that is the magic that JavaScript is performing there. With this, you see how easy it is to create a responsive navigation bar. Before we go, the button is supposed to be displayed only on the mobile devices. Okay, so we come to our media query, and then after this, we say menu toggle. So we say display of none. As from large screens, we don't need the menu toggle, we don't need the button. So go and keep going, and then the menu button will be taken out. Alright, so you see how easy it is to create a responsive navigation bar. That is it for this video. I will see you in the next one.